And now, the general weather around Alaska.
Starting off with the river breakup map here. The only rivers left for breakup are up here along the north slope. Everything else done now. And the cooler temperatures up here probably will keep this from happening until sometime maybe the first week of June, in which the case the Sagwan River here would be the first one to start showing breakup there. And again, that probably won't happen until sometime, well, a few days out yet anyway. And for the hazardous weather, we've got a coastal flood advisory out here for the Kuskokwim Delta Coast, Nunivak Island area for the weekend as strong winds build sea heights there, bringing the possibility of some minor beach erosion. And from there, looking at the fire weather update today, of course, clouds and rain, drop fire danger in most areas, especially with the cooler temperatures. And eastern interior remains the driest, and any winds will increase the spread and potential in that area. And a little bit of warming possible over the interior this weekend may enhance the fire danger a little bit, mostly up over the central and eastern part of the state. Fire danger for spruce forecast for tomorrow. You can see here on the lee side of the Alaska Range in the high category there, where the winds have been kind of gusty and just about no precipitation falling. Also here in the Copper River Basin area. Otherwise, have kind of a medium area out here to the west with surrounded by an area of low. And moving on to satellite imagery, system here spinning off the southeast coast, kept it cloudy and kind of wet today, but rainfall amounts not as heavy as they were yesterday there. But rainfall cuts off up here around Dry Bay and the North Gulf Coast, not too bad. Picking up some precipitation here over south central Alaska, sliding on up to the north, a wet day in the Susitna Valley areas and some showers all the way up into the Fairbanks area. It's definitely cloudy skies there, all the way up, mostly cloudy into the Brooks Range and portions of the North Slope. And out here to the west, we've got a southward moving system here, center right in there on the first frame here. You can see that drop southward, almost due south, and a lot of cloudiness here in over the northern Bering Sea and the Bering Strait areas. And this starting to push down toward the Pribilof Islands and dragging southward there in toward the western Aleutians. Forecast for tonight, that low center moves to about this position here south of St. Matthew Island, front right through here with areas of rain with it over the Pribilof Islands. And actually up in this area, probably looking at some mixed precipitation, St. Lawrence Island to the Bering Strait areas. To the east here, variably cloudy to mostly clear skies over the western interior, driest conditions there into the central part of the state. A trough here bringing some light snow and gusty west winds. Could be some blowing snow up here tonight along the eastern Arctic coast with some lower visibilities, maybe down to a mile or so. And that'll kind of extend in, maybe some light snow or flurries into the eastern Brooks Range area. Showers south central Alaska with a weak trough here. Otherwise, look for some clearing over the Copper River Basin, Kodiak Island, maybe even Bristol Bay. Showers to the Alaska Peninsula. And this low, right off the north coast of the Panhandle there, keeps it showery and wet, or keeps it wet and cloudy there with, again, rainfall amounts continuing to become less and less each period we advance here. And we'll see for tomorrow, a couple of weak troughs produce scattered showers across the entire southeast coast, especially to the south and back to the north with this one. But again, lighter rainfall amounts, what you saw today here, probably tomorrow possibly. And a pretty good chance of showers here over the southeast interior from the North Gulf Coast right on up into the mid and upper Tanana Valley areas. Central interior dry, extends up to the Brooks Range. This Arctic front dropping southward, kind of uncertain how well it'll hold together when it makes landfall on the coastline. Once it does, it's going to fall to pieces. So look for the winds to increase, gusty west winds as that comes down with increasing chances of snow, but it's not going to last very long. Otherwise, out here to the west, another system comes northward toward the Fox Islands, and look for gale force winds to push into the Alaska Peninsula with heavier rainfall amounts with that. Increasing chances of rain for the Pribilof Islands out through this area. This front weakens. The low still up there over the northern Bering Sea, but that will come southward, as we'll see on Sunday. As this low lifts northward, this one drops pretty rapidly down the back side of that to about this position, bringing more rain into the central Aleutians. Winds gusting, gale force winds gust to 50 miles per hour here along the southwest coast into Bristol Bay, with a good shot of rain coming in with that. Rain, Kodiak Island for Sunday, and rain for the North Gulf Coast. Increasing southeast winds again, as kind of the same pattern here across south central Alaska. Pretty gusty winds through Turnagain Arm and the Anchorage Hillside and the mountain passes of south central Alaska here on up into the Manuska Valley. Kind of a windy day for Palmer, wet for Prince William Sound, especially western Prince William Sound. Dry up in the interior with a fair amount of sunshine there. And as you can see, high pressure up over the Arctic there. That front just gone to pieces, maybe a lingering early snow shower or two up over the eastern Arctic coast. And that's about it. Winds much lighter on Sunday. And for the southeast coast, partly sunny in areas and still a few showers around. Call it partly to mostly with a chance of a shower or two. And then for Monday, this next front weakens and begins to increase the rainfall chances there for the southeast coast in the afternoon hours. So you may have a period there between tomorrow or Sunday evening that'll be dry into Monday morning that'll be dry, and then look for the rain to push back in the afternoon and evening. Wet for the North Gulf Coast on Monday. And still looking at some pretty gusty winds with this front over the southwest part of the state, especially Bristol Bay to Kodiak Island, Alaska Peninsula, southwest winds maybe up to 40 miles an hour. And with that low center still north of the peninsula there, good chance of rain here across the southwest interior. Showers along and north of this trough axis in the central interior. And from the Brooks Range out to the Arctic coast, look for clear skies, light winds, and a fair amount of sunshine. Out over the Bering Sea, this low center here keeps it showery over the eastern and central Aleutians, as you can see, drier back to the west. And then for the lows tonight, anywhere from 15 to 25 from the Brooks Range out to the Arctic coast. Lows into the 30s here, some cases lower 30s over portions of the Tanana Valley there, mid 30s all the way back out toward the Seward Peninsula and Norton Sound. Lower 30s St. Lawrence Island, upper 30s Pribilofs and the Aleutians, lower 40s on Alaska and portions of the Alaska Peninsula. And in the 40s for the remainder of the state. Highs for tomorrow, 50s for the southeast coast, 50s here across southern Alaska, 50s, mid to upper 50s for the central interior, maybe 60 or 61 here for Northway Tok on up to Eagle, and that's about it. 40s back to the west, cool into the 30s, St. Lawrence Island, and highs 30s to or upper 20s to mid to upper 30s for the North Slope and Arctic coast. Now be followed by lows, a little milder, staying in the 20s up here in that area. Otherwise, south of the mountains there, south of the Brooks Range in the 40s. Still looking at 30s here for the Seward Peninsula and St. Lawrence Island, upper 20s around Kotzebue on up to Cape Lisburne and Point Hope, with 40s for the Panhandle, 39 for Nikolsky, and highs recovering a little bit, at least into the mid-60s here for the central interior on Sunday afternoon, but staying in the 50s here across southern Alaska and cooler down toward the North Gulf Coast. No change for the Panhandle, highs again in the 50s, and 30s for the North Slope and Arctic coast.